Welcome back to Overdrive with me, Nico Hulkenberg. So Sandeep, what have we got on the show?
Well, actually, the next segment is all about you, Nico. We've got a bunch of our members of the Overdrive team and viewers, Sahara Force India fans and Overdrive viewers, to send in some questions for you to answer. So this little segment we're calling 10 questions for Nico Hulkenberg. You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. Our first question comes in from Overdrive's editor, Sirish Chandran. He's recorded a video question, so let's take a look at it.
Nico, I'm sure you must have seen the footage from the Malaysian Grand Prix and you would have spoken to all your driver friends in the paddock. Honestly, could Sergio Perez have overtaken Alonso in the Malaysian Grand Prix?
Sergio definitely had a chance to win the race. I think everyone saw the speed of the car. He was, incredibly quick. Given without maybe the mistake he has made, running off the circuits, there would have been 3-4 laps where he might have gotten into Fernando's DRS zone. So who knows? On the other hand, Fernando, obviously we know, is such a tough racer, tough cookie to overtake. He just wouldn't have given away that win like that. So difficult one, but I think that there was a chance for Sergio to win that race, yeah.
All right. And our next question is also from Sirish. It's another video question. So, Nico, let's take a quick look at that.
Nico, my question to you is this. Now, in pre-season testing, we all thought that Force India had the pace to compete with the best of the mid-rung teams. But now Lotus seems to be way ahead, so does Sauber, even your former team, Williams. How do you take the next step forward, and when do we see it?
I think, as we've seen last week, the midfield is really incredibly tight. I think he describes it well. I think, we just have to keep our head down. In the factory in Silverstone, we were flat out developing the car, trying to make the car faster and bring some new bits to the car. And I think by the time we reach Europe, we should be able, to put some more speed on the car and maybe make the next step. But, it's only been 2 races. It's still early days in the season.
All right, Nico, our first Twitter question of the day comes from Sudarshan Venkatraman, and he wants to know, are both you and Paul auditioning for Michael's seat at Mercedes-AMG if and when he decides to retire again?
I don't know. For now, I'm focused on what I'm doing now with Sahara Force India. And I'm very happy at the team right now. I feel very comfortable inside the team, in the car. I'm just enjoying myself. It's only my 2nd year of Formula 1 racing, so to be honest with you, I'm not yet thinking that far ahead. It's still too early in the season. Let's wait and see what happens, but I'm very happy to stay with Sahara Force India.
Our next question comes in from Prakash, also on Twitter. Now, he wants to know, the modern F1 steering wheel has so many buttons and controls on it. Have you ever pushed the wrong button, either in a race or during qualifying, and what happened?
Luckily not. It can happen quite easily. Sometimes, after the winter break, you come back to the test, and it takes a bit of time to get used to the steering wheel again. Maybe some buttons have changed, and in testing it happens every now and then that you press the wrong button. But by the time you reach racing, the steering wheel is that much into your brain that certainly I don't have pressed the wrong button yet.
Okay, our next question is from Overdrive's associate producer, Sohini Dutt. She's got a video question as well, so let's take a quick look at that.
A couple of years back, we had the qualifying session in a different format. You had 1 hour and all the cars would have to go and outpace themselves to get the best lap times. And of course, accordingly, you would have your grid positions. But now you have the short format of the qualifying sessions. Which one do you as a race driver prefer?
So I think, the qualifying format at the moment is pretty thrilling. I quite like, the Q1, a couple of cars out, Q2, a couple of cars out, Q3. It gives me in the car a good thrill, and I think to the spectators in front of the TV and at the circuit as well, because, it's not just 1 hour of driving around trying to, set the fastest lap time. Every like 20 minutes there's a highlight, and you have to push yourself to the maximum and to the limit. So I think it's quite a good format, and I'd rather stick to the current one.
Our next question is also from Twitter, Nico. The question is, what are the 3 best parts to being an F1 driver as compared to any other job that you could have done?
Well, there's lots of benefits and positives to it. In the first place, it's a privilege to be able to drive a Formula 1 car, to get the sensation of the speed, the G-force, to drive amongst the best drivers of the world. The absolute professional work with the team, trying to squeeze everything out of the car and yourself. I think that is a big part of Formula 1 and which I certainly enjoy. I think the other thing is traveling. We get to see quite a bit from the world, which is very nice at a young age. Not many people have seen so much of the world, but we have due to the job.
Our next question is from Arun Nair, and he wants to know, given the choice, would you rather have Michael, Kimi or Fernando as your teammate, and why?
Yeah, all pretty established and successful drivers, aren't they? So I think I would go for Fernando because I think currently he's the best driver amongst all. And I want to measure myself against the best, so I'd probably choose Fernando.
Interesting choice there, but our next question in the series is from Overdrive's correspondent Abhay Verma. So he's got a video question. Here's what he's asking.
So Nico, just as Kimmy's into rallying and Michael loves motorcycles, what other form of sport interests you apart from Formula One?
For me, it's tennis. My other big passion after racing is tennis. I really enjoy, playing myself, hitting a few balls, a nice forehand winner, and certainly enjoy watching as well. When the top players of the world like Nadal, Federer, Djokovic play a big tournament, all the major ones obviously. I'll be watching at the TV.
Our final Twitter question for you, Nico, comes from Ratish, and he wants to know, what is your favorite street legal road car?
Tricky one. I mean, at the moment there's so many nice road cars out there, but I think one of my all-time favorite is an Aston Martin DBS V12.
Our 10th and final question for Nico Hulkenberg is my question. And Nico, after we saw the race in Malaysia, and the race was red flagged and you guys were there sitting on the grid, some drivers went off to eat something. We saw Fernando and Seb having a chat, Nico Rosberg changing his clothes. What do you do to get refocused and get ready for the restart? Because obviously it's a big distraction having stopped and gotten out of the car.
I think there's only so much you can do because you realize once it's red flagged, rained hard, lots of water on the circuit, it's going to take 20 minutes, half an hour before we can start the race again. So you just, then relax a bit, let go of the tension maybe, and then once they give you the 10-minute signal, you start getting ready again, get into the car, and then you've got maybe 2-3 minutes to refocus again, reboot, and get ready to race.
All right, thanks, Nico. We're going to take a quick break here, but coming up on the other side, Nico takes over the show again. Stay tuned.